Hello, I'm Liz, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and the stuff they're sharing around the world on Newsfeed today. We try to find the correlation between the spread of COVID-19 and the sale of guns. The viral drink everyone's whipping up in lockdown.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
And yes, the celebrity Imagine saga continues. Top of our news feed today, why Americans are bumping up their stocks of guns during the pandemic. While most people have panic bought toilet paper, pasta, or I don't know, their favourite chocolate, more Americans have bought weapons in the past month than at any point since the FBI started keeping records more than 20 years ago. Adama explains why some Americans' shopping lists have changed.
Queues have become a common sight at some shops around the world. But here in Culver City, California, there is just as much demand for guns as toilet rolls. With 90% of the US under lockdown, gun sellers are reporting a spike in gun sales, particularly among first-time buyers.
Mostly home defense type firearms. Shotguns, handguns are the main things we're selling right now.
Last month, the FBI conducted almost 4 million background checks, the highest number since background checks began in 1998. So why the spike?
I think people are buying it because they're scared, and they're saying better to have a gun than not to. So.
Europe is known for having tighter gun control than the US, but there's been a nearly 10% increase in Hungarian gun sales. The Czech Republic's Arms Manufacturers Association says there's a double-digit increase in sales. Stores in some US cities have been ordered to close or operate by appointment in line with social distancing orders. But this week, Trump said firearms stores should qualify as essential businesses, alongside gas stations and supermarkets. In recent years, the US has seen a spike in mass shootings and gun violence. But it's too early to say if the recent trend in gun sales will worsen an already volatile situation.
Now, everyone can do their part to save lives during the coronavirus crisis, whether you're simply staying home or working on the front lines. But what's also needed is money. Here's a look at how some of the billionaires are spending millions to fight COVID-19. Let's take a look now at some other Rona-related stories you might have missed. Need something new to keep yourself entertained and away from the fridge? The party game Cards Against Humanity is not usually something you want to play with mum and dad. It's rude, it's crude, and it rewards your worst thoughts. Now they've released a PG-rated version for free that's downloadable. Creators say it hasn't lost all of its edge and there'll still be plenty of poop jokes and things to make your dad blush. If that's not your thing, how about Lady Gaga, Billie Eilish, Elton John, Lizzo, Paul McCartney playing at your next isolation party? They're headlining a huge virtual concert that will be beamed into your house this month. It's called One World Together at Home and is raising money for the World Health Organization and health workers. This is a time none of us are likely to forget. Maybe we'll want to. But some photographers who've been hit hard in recent weeks are finding new ways to commemorate quarantine by taking family portraits. And don't worry, they are not breaking social distancing rules. Take a look.
About 75% of my revenue, and I just was paralyzed with grief and shock. And when this came through, I thought, well, I have a camera, so I can do this. I can do something. They're taking it as it comes, and there's a lot of optimism and kind of good humor about the circumstance and being in it together. So that's been heartwarming for me. Everybody smiled so far.
Let's go around the world now for some other stories not about coronavirus, if you can believe it. 2 forest fires near the Chernobyl nuclear power plant have caused a massive spike in radiation levels, 16 times above normal. 2 blazes erupted on Saturday inside the exclusion zone, the scene of the world's worst nuclear disaster in 1986. The smaller of the 2 has been put out, and about 100 firefighters are working to extinguish the second. And this cobweb-like thing that kind of looks like a long line of silly string has flabbergasted scientists who discovered it off the coast of Western Australia. It's called siphonophore, and they think it's the largest specimen ever recorded at 47 metres long. Well, there you go. While we've been cooped up during the coronavirus, my newsfeed has been full of sourdough starters and banana bread baking. Let's call it carb therapy. But in a new food trend that's taking over, it's a caffeine fix that's pretty as a picture and perfect for the gram. It started in South Korea but has quickly spread to the rest of the world. Our guy in Seoul, Joseph Kim, shows us how to.
Amid the coronavirus outbreak, people have been trying to practice physical distancing. It's been quite difficult, but there's one drink that's getting people to stay home. I'm going to show you how to make dalgona coffee, which has become a global viral trend, and it started here in South Korea. Now this coffee, it's fairly easy to make. It's equal parts instant coffee mix, sugar, as well as hot water. Today, I'll be making 2 cups of dalgona coffee, so I'm gonna be using 3 tablespoons of instant coffee mix, and then 3 tablespoons of sugar, and 3 tablespoons of hot water. All right, now comes the hard part. We're gonna whisk this all together. Now, it's tough to whisk this and stir it for such a long time. This is why some people are hashtagging this the Dalgona challenge, but it's well worth it. It's actually perfect for physical distancing because it requires a lot of time, it's time consuming, and you have to do it at home. Now, as you can see, the color and texture of the mix is starting to change. I know it's tough, but stick with it. That's the whole point of the challenge. Just in case you are curious, the reason why they're calling it Dalgona coffee is because this reminds South Koreans of a candy, a toffee-like candy that was very popular, a very popular street snack in the 70s here in South Korea. They say that this coffee reminds them of the taste, the color, as well as the taste reminds them of that time, and it gives them a bit of nostalgia. So not only are you drinking what South Koreans are very nostalgic for, but you're also drinking some South Korean history. It looks as though we're pretty ready. It's very whipped and ready to be topped off. We're gonna finish this by bringing some milk and pouring it into our cups. And there's two reasons really why this has become such a global trend. One, it's so time consuming that it really helps with physical distancing, but two, because it's so photogenic. When you take a picture after making this, you'll realize why it's so big. Just look at how pretty they are. It's a great way to try something new, stay home, and stay safe.
He makes it look so simple. Now, a couple of weeks ago, actress Gal Gadot curated a celebrity sing-along to John Lennon's Imagine. It was supposed to be a rallying moment at the time of crisis, but it only unified the internet in their mockery of the very cringy video. Now, here are some ways people have tried to salvage it.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
No hell below us.
Above us only sky. Imagine all the
There's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. In the shape of an L on her forehead, and you.
What's tonight?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I hope that helps, babe. I hope we solve it.
Someday you'll join us and the world will stop making fun. Right, Winnie?
Oh, there's really no saving it. That's all from the Newsfeed team. You'll find us 24/7 on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and we'll see you tomorrow.